Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome back to round 2 of season 2 of the F123 Lancia career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. If you missed out on the video that went live Friday from Bahrain, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. Porsche and Lamborghini both made their Formula 1 debuts, and there were a lot of storylines as we left the Sakhir International Circuit, but probably none more important than the miracle recovery drive we had in our Lancia car. Yes, we came away somehow with a P5 finish in the end, which has left us both fifth in the Drivers' and the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari unable to score a point in the opening round of the new campaign as well there. So yeah, big turnout for the books. George Russell was certainly a driver as well that was completely in control, and Pierre Gasly arguably the biggest shock result as well from that opening round. However, we were hoping to get the first part of a B-spec car upgrade on the car here in Jeddah, and none of the upgrades worked. We had 4 failed upgrades as we head into this weekend, so we've got as many of them going as we possibly can. Again, we've still got 3 more to reapply to the car, which hopefully then should all arrive ready for Albert Park next time round. But we are officially the slowest car in Formula 1, so as we head into Jeddah this weekend, we are really going to have to try and make the difference as the driver. Quickly though, before we get into this video, I want to thank all of the names you see on your screen. Without their continued support of the channel, none of the work we do here would be possible. And if you want to get your name featured on this list, you can click the join button or click the Patreon link down in my description below and support the channel from just £1 a month. You will also get access to weekly updates about everything going on behind the scenes, and also occasionally some early previews on videos. So yeah, a massive thank you to my YouTube members and my Patreon supporters, and let's get back to the video. Well, as we move into qualifying then here from Jeddah, it's last season we certainly learned that this car was much better on the high downforce circuits, low top speed. Yeah, this weekend I feel is going to be a tough one for us. Maybe qualifying our luck can change, but feel like we're lacking a lot of straight line speed here and not making enough of it back up through the twisty bits. Of course, we need to set up the car so it's quick over a race distance, so I might have to sacrifice even more qualifying pace where needed. But yeah, through this first sector as well, obviously we mentioned last time round how we weren't particularly confident with the chassis, so that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out with all these very quick changes of direction as well. That's actually the most confident I've felt with the car through that first sector all weekend long. And well, clearly 6 tenths up on Liam Lawson I will take happily. Tell you what then, after all that talk at the start of this lap saying I wasn't very confident in the car, suddenly it feels like it is starting to come alive then here in Jeddah. So we round our way out of that final corner, make sure I don't slap the outside wall like a certain Dutchman did, and it's going to be a 1:26.9. That puts us 8th place, and I've got genuinely no idea how we've managed it. Well, by the end then of this session, we are still inside the top 10 here. Everyone trying to go for their last run as late as they possibly dare. We've been able to find ourselves a bit of free track space though, ready to go for our run there. Between the Red Bull of Carlos Sainz and the Aston Martin of Yuki Tsunoda, let's see what we can do with 30 seconds left on the clock. Gonna have to bring out the good old-fashioned sweat mode, I feel, but yeah, when you nail a lap here at Jeddah, boy oh boy is it fun. Really just trying to hang the car over the curbs everywhere on this lap. A 10th up on Magnussen by the end of Sector 1, but yeah, this is the first sector where we seem to get all the time hang it right up towards the wall of death there. So far, so good. Looks like then the worst position we're going to be starting here is going to be 11th place then, but 2 tenths up as we make our way down towards the final corner. Not many drivers seemingly able to improve. Maybe the track just starting to fall away from people. Little bit of a mistake out of that final corner. They're going to be a 10.5 up though. By the time we get to the line, it's a 26.7, and I believe that's about P5. Well, there we go then. None of us thought it would take very long, but Lewis Hamilton at Ferrari is going to be our pole sitter here for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Lando Norris in P2 there. We'd had a George Russell, which means it's all 3 Brits excluding myself, in the top 3 there. Max Verstappen lines up 4th, Esteban Ocon up in P5 there. So 5 cars, again, from 5 different teams making up our top 5. We line up just ahead of Pierre Gasly down in P8. And yeah, you can see Sainz and Piastri there with their new teams really, really struggling. Ricciardo only good enough for P17. Before we get into that though, I just want to thank today's video sponsor, IMB Racewear. I get asked all the time why I use gloves for sim racing, and truth be told, it saves you a lot of money in the long run. Yes, when you are using expensive steering wheels, it is really important that you have a pair of gloves that can protect the wheel from your oily, sweaty hands. And IMB Racewear have got some of the best gloves on the market. Of course, you can have the custom branded Matt 212 gloves or any other gloves off of their site. There'll be a link down in the description below. And if you use that, you massively help support the channel at no extra cost to yourself.
So here we are then, welcoming you today to one of the jewels of the Arab world, Jeddah, one of the biggest cities in Saudi Arabia, second only to Riyadh, gateway to Mecca, and one of the biggest ports in the region. And now, host to the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah street circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Russell, Verstappen, Ocon, Leclerc, Bottas, Firestarter, Gasly, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Sainz, Oscar Piastri, Perez, Joe, Albon, Ricciardo, Iwasa, Teo Pourchaire, Sargent, Hulkenberg, and Liam Lawson. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Well, I'll be honest, we surprised ourselves then in qualifying, lining up 8th place on the grid, but this is obviously where all the points are dished out. So we need to try and make sure that we deliver a good race strategy today. However, we all know Jeddah is the home of the safety car. Never have they ran a Grand Prix here so far where we haven't seen a safety car. So I'm going to go with quite an aggressive strategy. Start on the softs and then move over to the mediums for the second stint. The car, yeah, is still maybe going to be a little bit all over the road today. So going to be avoiding, hopefully, a very, very high-speed impact with the barriers. But yeah, 25 laps ahead of us. Let's do this thing. Well, looks like I'm not alone then on the soft compound tyre. Bottas and Gasly around me. 5 red lights. It's going to be lights out and away we go then. Oh, Norris not getting off to a particularly good start. Leclerc getting off to an absolute blinder, and we're just going to have nowhere to go. Oh, in towards turn 1 there. Bottas tried to cut across me. Perhaps didn't spot me on his outside there, as we will keep Pierre Gasly at bay as we make our way out the first couple of corners. Oh, I wanted to try and outbrake Bottas, and how on earth have we got no damage out of that there? Bottas, where on earth has this driver been in all his time in Formula 1 there? Was willing to send it and cut across me at turn 1. Was then willing to put it all on the line again through the fast chicane there, but somehow we have cheated out of getting damage in that one. Locked up the tyres to avoid putting too much momentum in towards that wall. We're down to P10 though off the start of this Grand Prix, so we've lost a couple of places. And we're back down with the Aston Martins then as Carlos Sainz breaks free in that second Red Bull car. Well, there we go. George Russell then will lead the way by the end of lap 1. So once more, it could be Hamilton and Russell beef here. Ferrari with their new star signing. Mercedes with the young upstart who's had to force his way into the #1 role. But yeah, I mean, George, though, would love to get back-to-back victories to kickstart the campaign. Oh, Gasly and Sainz battling in front, but we have got much bigger concerns at the moment. Kevin Magnussen, tried to have a look around the outside there through the final corner. We've got to get back within the range of those cars in front. But clearly we were able to mask the car's weakness. Clearly, yeah, able to mask the car's weakness over one lap there as Gasly and Sainz side by side in front of me. This might help us get a little bit closer. Oh, we got yellows. We got yellows. Someone's got issues. It's Gasly. Pierre Gasly there right in front of me, and we're not going to need a replay to see that one. Alpine going up in smoke there down at turn 1. And that's going to promote me back up then into P9 of the GP. Could this bring out a safety car, though? I don't think so.
Right, drop your speed. Our delta's too low, and we're going to risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
Oh, that was a very, very lucky time to make that mistake over the horrible curb. We'll luckily not get a warning or anything there, but the VSC has been called. Pierre, I feel, could have done a better job parking that car. Oh, looks like Magnussen's been caught out off this restart, though. We might be able to get him out of the DRS range, but Pierre Gasly, of course, the absolute star in Bahrain there, dragging that Alpine up to a podium. Losing out early on this weekend. Clearly, they still need to fine-tune their power settings. But look at this now. Magnussen weaving this way and that. Sainz, sorry, even I should say. As Ocon and Bottas there will form a wall back down in towards turn 1 and leave the Red Bull stranded. Carlos, of course, had the mechanical failure last weekend, but his teammate is fighting for the lead. Ocon and Bottas have had here in the past. 2021, they obviously had a drag race to the start-finish line in that GP where Bottas would snatch the podium away from Esteban in one of his final races for Mercedes. But yeah, we're already starting to worry about these tyres just a little bit. So we're going to try and go on the offensive whilst we can. Oh, Sainz looks for it on Bottas and Ocon. They're down at turn 1. We'll muscle our way back to the outside of the Red Bull, though, and make it through. But these two, yeah, not wanting to give an inch as Ferrari. Their qualifying pace seems to have fallen down the toilet come the start of this GP. Oh, that's what I mean about the tyres. They are already starting to hit the cliff. There is a big moment out of turn 12, I believe it is. Just, yeah, I mean, the team have already warned me that we're going to lose the rear grip pretty soon. But hopefully we can try and get back past Magnussen as well. So tempted to go for an undercut, but I just don't think the tyres will go as far as we need as, well, yet again, Bottas and Ocon. I mean, they're putting on a show for the fans at the moment, but it is frustrating to watch behind them because we just cannot find a way by. Here goes Magnussen again. We're going to have a look to the inside. Bottas is slow, but you just cannot commit to it. Oh, Bottas is locked up. Bottas is locked up through turn 1, so we will be able to make the move work. And I'm at a P7 then of this Grand Prix. The problem is this has worked out beautifully for Ocon, who's got a little bit of breathing room now just in front of me. And we need to try and make sure he doesn't get out of the range. I think unless something crazy happens later on, though, we are basically confined to a P6 finish at best here as it goes. Ocon will cover that inside and try and push me then to the outside wall. We do make it up, though, and into that coveted 6th position. I mean, the Ferraris and Lando Norris are right there still. It is Verstappen versus Russell as, oh, Ocon behind me peels into the pit. So does Bottas. We got a little bit of a gap then, but we are about to get undercut, I fear. Right, make sure we get the car slowed down nice and tidy, though. On our way into the pits, George Russell has joined me then, so happy we were able to extend the stint. Oh, as far as the Merc there, as we almost at the last second forgot about the pit warning.
They've got some kind of mechanical problem.
Well, problems then for Daniel Ricciardo this afternoon. Yeah, really has seemed to struggle so far in the opening 2 rounds, hoping that maybe the new upgrade on the car will help him out. Let's head back out then of the pits. And the gap to Bottas and Ocon, you can already see a good 2-3 seconds. So we're going to have to hope they fight again throughout the second half of this race if we want any chance of catching them. Well, Ricciardo as well as many others into the pit lane then, but Bottas. Yeah, Bottas there poaching my fastest lap. Leclerc and Norris have even been undercut then, so that's really interesting. I think we've still got one of the Aston Martins yet to pit, but Russell seems to have got a rather large jump on Max Verstappen in their battle. Lewis Hamilton then re-emerged, is right in front of me. in this Grand Prix, so we're still up inside that top 10. We've got a fair gap to the cars behind. We might be able to reclaim 8th, I think, once that Aston Martin has come through the pits. But, yeah, now our fight is with a lot of cars in front, if we can get there. There we go. One of the Aston Martins. It might be, yep, Tsunoda in. So we are back at 8th place, then, of this GP. But, I mean, look at this going on in front. 3 wide as they make their way back in towards turn 1 there. This is the difference now. This group of cars is 4 points all the way up to a 3rd place finish and a trophy here. As Bottas and Hamilton side by side, the old Mercedes sparring partners. Both have gone their separate ways and are hoping to rewrite the history books. Well, Hamilton then has certainly not struggled to move his way to the front of this group. But will he be able to break free then, as here is Bottas and Norris duking out for number 1 McLaren role. We're going to try and get a run on at least one of their cars. No, we're going to make it a double as Hamilton locks up. We almost go into the back of Leclerc down at turn 1. Ocon will say thank you very much there and get back around the outside of the Mercedes. Can we do what Lewis did to Leclerc as well? He hits the inside wall, runs out into the side of me. Team happy with it though, so we're going to take it. But yeah, Ferrari, of course, give us a lot of technical components as well on the car, as well as our power units. Surely won't be happy with that move. Here goes Hamilton around the outside of Ocon as they make their way down this, well, not really a straight, but you know what I mean. And Hamilton again gets around the outside of Esteban Ocon. He has got so much confidence in that Ferrari car just to break around the outside of someone and turn in for the corner. But this is the problem with Jeddah. It is just DRS zone after DRS zone as Ocon will squeeze back by. Hamilton then is going to be slow through that final corner. So we might be able to try and get a run here on our 2nd Ferrari car in a lap. We just might keep one wheel inside the white line there. Ocon running slowly as well. And up then into the podium places we go of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And that's how in just a lap you go from 8th to 3rd here in Jeddah. Oh, we got more yellows. We got more yellows at the rear of the field. Could that potentially shake things up late on the afternoon? Logan Sargent is out of this Grand Prix. Well, Logan Sargent then, we're right on board with him out of the final corner, trying to put the power down in that Haas car. And he's going to get all the way up to 8th gear. Just as it was about to tick over 200, the car just shuts off on him. And Logan Sargent, well, he's been comfortably clear of Nico Hülkenberg in the opening 2 rounds of the season, but he is out of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Here comes Lewis Hamilton again, back down to turn 1. Not able to that time. What? How is the tyre warning light already flashed up? We've only been on these tyres 8 laps. What on earth is going on? Is it? Oh, it must be because I've been nudging the wall too many times. Yeah, look at that. That front right tyre there already up to 60% wear in this Grand Prix. So we're going to have to really be careful. For those of you that don't know, in F123, if you nudge a wall with a tyre with the simulation damage on, you actually put about 5 or 10% of wear into that one tyre then. So we're going to... It's like that. I mean, look how much that'll immediately have upped it. It's Hamilton tries to have a look around the outside. Looks like it didn't make too big of a difference that time to the tyre. But if you keep doing that, it will really cost you towards the end of the race. As suddenly now Lando Norris back up into P4. Him and Hamilton going side by side behind me. So we got to take this chance to run. Well, we are having to use so much battery at the moment, just trying to keep Lewis Hamilton outside of that 1 second zone. We know if we can leave the AI to battle each other there, as a huge amount of understeer to try and make our way out into the back straight. I feel like that's immediately gone out of the question. But we know if you can leave the AI to battle with each other around here, you can gain a lot of time very quickly. This has turned into a drive until the tyres explode challenge for us. Up over 70% wear now. And that means even if I don't nudge the wall anymore, we might still be in big trouble by the end of the afternoon. And I mean, look at this train of cars now. Basically extends all the way back to, I believe, Carlos Sainz, who's down in 10th place then of this Grand Prix. Lando Norris, he thought about a move there. It was a bold attempt We made sure we gave him the space, though, but certainly weren't going to jump out of the way for him. As Oscar Piastri, where has he come from in all of this? He was down in, like, 9th place here, and is suddenly looking like he could be on for a podium. Lando Norris going to send it on me in towards the final corner there. We momentarily are 3 wide with the former McLaren duo, one of them still there, desperate to showcase himself as the number 1 over Valtteri Bottas, and luckily because of that, we actually got the DRS off of Lando, but you can see down at turn 1, we have got nothing in terms of braking performance anymore. These tyres are shot. No, 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 don't hit the wall. Come on, rejoin.
Okay,
Ugh.
need to stay on form.
Oh, that was so close. We're lucky that Bottas seemed to have dropped back slightly there, but Piastri will squeeze by and into the podium places here, but we're surely going to be able to stay within the 1 second mark of the McLaren. I just so desperately want to try and get the team a podium here. We had such a tough winter break, not able to get all the new parts on the car like we'd hoped to, and, well, Bahrain was pretty much as perfect as a Grand Prix could go for us. I would love to try and get another one here today and bring back a trophy to the team base, but as we make our way... You don't get away with many of those on this game. You do not get away with many of those. A huge moment there at 170 miles an hour, but we'll storm back around the outside of Oscar Piastri nonetheless. 2 laps to go of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Our tyres are up still at 73. So, for whatever reason, actually the tyre wear isn't bad when you're not hitting the wall. But Piastri again looks this way and that. Not able to get close enough, though. I thought this car was slow down the straights this weekend, but apparently not. 1 more lap to go then here from Jeddah, and here comes Oscar Piastri down the inside. I don't know if we've got the DRS or he has, but I've left the door wide open as Bottas will try and have a look past me as well. We have got the DRS though, so strategically that has worked out fantastically as we will look back to the outside of that McLaren once again. You've got to play the strategy game here, but Oscar Piastri, he's not interested in strategy anymore. He is interested in one thing only, and that is track position. Unfortunately for him, though, we are more than happy to get the elbows out there, and Bottas will slip back by into P4. Of course, myself and the McLaren came to blows on lap 1 there. It could have been a much nastier crash for the pair of us, but we somehow both were able to walk away scot-free. Further up the road, though, George Russell looks like it is going to be another pretty comfortable race victory here. Was able to withhold the pressure from Verstappen early on, and Mercedes able to look after their tyres just that bit better than Red Bull have been able to this weekend. But Bottas still all over my gearbox on this final lap there. We're just trying to thread the needle. We know if we slap the wall just like that, 98% wear, we have got nothing left on that tyre. It could go at any moment around this venue, so we've just got to try and hang on. Keep it clean, keep it tidy in towards the final few corners. I cannot believe what we are seeing at the moment, but 1 more corner to go then. Here comes Bottas. We'll look to the inside there. We can't get to the inside to defend it early enough, and Bottas might just, for the 2nd time here, snooker away a podium. Piastri has a look for it out of the final corner, and Bottas has only gone and done it. It's P4 here in Jeddah.
A sterling effort from the team and a magnificent drive to secure victory here at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Well, Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today, but what set them apart from the rest?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take the top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes.
Well, there we go then. George Russell makes it 2 from 2 to kickstart the new season here. The Mercedes driver didn't quite take pole this evening, but certainly was able to walk away with the victory there. Max Verstappen in a rather lonely P2, but behind him, I mean, look at that. Bottas, 18 seconds off the win in P3. Lando Norris in the other McLaren, 21 seconds off the win, P11. 9 cars covered by 3 seconds by the time we got to the flag there. It really was a battle for the ages. We just hang on to P4 in the end there, but gutted that we just could not quite close the gap to Bottas out of that final turn there. Piastri comes home for P5. Hamilton losing places there. So did Charles Leclerc. So clearly Ferrari lacking a little bit of race pace when all is said and done. But I mean, yeah, look at that. Bottas down to Carlos Sainz. 1.2 seconds covered, what's that? 6 cars come the checkered flag. It was an absolutely ridiculous race this weekend there, and I just can't get over the fact Lando went from 2nd to 11th pretty much through no fault of his own there. But with that result, though, means we are instantly promoted into P3 of the championship. So the consistent results early on really are paying off for us here. Bottas up to 4th ahead of Gasly, with Piastri there tied on 18 points. Hamilton immediately up into 8th. Charles Leclerc into P13 there after his mechanical failure in round 1. And constructors-wise, though, we are up into P4, despite the fact Daniel Ricciardo yet to score a point this season. Mercedes and George Russell, of course, comfortable out top in both of those championships. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon when Formula 1 returns ready for the Australian Grand Prix.